We have left off with the cleansing beam coming down and our scarab is retreating. And now I told you to go ahead and get comfortable, but now go grab some popcorn because the Vulture Wars is going to go ahead and begin. As we already saw before, lovely blisterbacks by the enemy so far. Green has started to show nothing but vultures, and I don't have the tech to go ahead and counter that yet, which is vultures myself. But we are at least getting our leader ability for Ghost in the Machine, which will be great. And we still need to deal with this massive amount of vultures, and we want to also stop this expansion base from happening. So we're going to use Ghost in the Machine to take over a couple vultures as well as a couple blisterbacks. It turns out I did even get control of those blisterbacks for whatever reason. And so we used Y moves to go ahead and get rid of some of the vultures, but unfortunately, Ghost in the Machine did not really work out as well as I would have liked to. We were able to get rid of one of their vultures, but Green still has a plethora of vultures, and we're going to continue to make some vultures ourselves. But we are struggling in the supply department. That's something that we need to fix. And it does look like combat salvage was popped. We're going to use our Spartan to hijack one of the vultures. And now we got to try and find a way to start targeting down the rest of these vultures if possible. But it's not really looking too hot. We were able to steal one of them, and we have a level 1 Spartan in there, which is nice to see. But we did lose that scarab that was also trying to push on that left hand side, and they wanted to focus down on the Kodiaks that we had, which they did a great job getting rid of those. But now we're going to at least clear out some of those vultures, but unfortunately we're still stuck in a spot where combat salvage was used, so those vultures are just going to come right back. And so we want to try and get some good siege going, but it's kind of hard, and those blisterbacks makes it really hard, and Desi just lost all their air associated with that. A teleport has come in by Colony to get rid of the siege on this side as well, and it does look like we're going to at least get rid of the Hunter Colony, but we did lose all the siege, which was their objective. They wanted to stop the siege from happening. And Green still has a very healthy amount of units. We have hologram to try and help out, but an EMP comes in, and this is going to be a little bit problematic. I need to start retreating, but unfortunately it's kind of hard to do so with that EMP Mac, and we're losing a lot of units so far. I don't even know where our Spartan's at. He's still in that vulture, trying to provide some cover fire if possible, but that significant amount of Y moves are coming in to our hero, and I don't think we're going to be able to actually capture that with our hero. Now we need to just start falling back. We were able to take it, which that's a good sign, but the Spartan needs to continue to retreat. If not, it's going to be taken care of. And health is very low, and there we go. Our level 1 Spartan is now taken care of because of, unfortunately, Hunter Colony came in with their devastating host. Siege turrets are still doing a magnificent job holding off on that right hand side, but we're kind of going back to square one where Light Blue is going to re-establish their base on that side. They have good blisterback support in the back, and my army has been completely cleaned out, and because of that we're stuck at square one. We're trying to get just vultures at this point. We don't really want to work with Kodiaks anymore. But we do only have one air pad, and we'll see if we can go ahead and get that fixed up. But a cloaking gen is already set up by the enemy on this side, and there's the leader as well. So it's just going to be very hard just trying to break this through. We don't really see shield gen, but a great Y move by the Reavers to dodge the Mac. And that means that's going to be my cue to go ahead and start moving my vultures back, because they can easily one-shot them. And we are trying to focus down the base with the scarab to see if we can get rid of it, but a bunch of hunters are coming in by Colony, so I don't know if we'll be able to take the base out. And with Colony using his Y move to cause distractions, we're once again losing our whole army all over again. And now Green has shown up on this left hand side to try and get rid of our Decimus second base, and if this base comes down, it's going to become a problem. It's taken a lot of hits, but it's still barely alive. It just needs to take one more hit for it to be taken out. Will it be taken out? Yes, it will. So unfortunately now yellow is going to be down to one base. We are going to at least start working on clearing out some of these vultures, but things are kind of looking dire for us right now. We don't have that second base for Decimus anymore, so his air is going to continue to get reduced depending on if those vultures use those Y moves or not. And I'm still trying to go ahead and get a better production for vultures as a whole. We're only at pop 34, but at least a lot of their vultures are coming down, which that is a good sign. We are still somehow, and I don't know why, still making Kodiaks, and we're kind of splitting them around the map, but I don't really think it's necessary. But we are at least clearing out a lot of the vultures that are coming in from green, which that's a good sign. But a mega turret has also shown up at least in mid, and that's where that is coming from. And we're going to try and send some units to go ahead and deal with that, but Desi has done a great job at least providing support and getting rid of a lot of the units. We're going to get rid of an advanced generator. We have way too much power in our hand. And siege turrets are going to do great over here, which is nice to see. We're going to upgrade our Mac, which is cool. But we're kind of still stuck in a weird situation for myself. We're flowing a lot of supplies. We're not really spending it. Don't know why I'm not using the hot groups, but there we go. That second air pad is going to be coming in as well. And now we're going to get advanced logistics upgraded, continue getting our supply game going. And now we need to continue to just pump out a lot more Nightingales and a lot more Vultures. We need them. This is Vulture Wars, alright? If I fall, then green is going to continue to be able to do whatever they want with their Vultures. And I'm the only one that can really counter that. And what I mean by that is, I will have the ability to take out bases as well as he does as well. But maybe my teammates can make a play, and maybe I can do some posturing around with my Vulture army and not try to just overcommit and lose my army over and over again like what I have done in the first half of this game. So, Armory is going to be self-destructed. We're going to believe in our Spartan, and that Spartan will go ahead and try and survive this time. We're going to have upgraded Jackrabbits to provide that extra vision. We have Ghost in the Machine ready as well. So now, continue produce of the Vultures, and we have to keep an eye on green's Vultures as well. Right now, red and yellow have a pretty comparable army that can go ahead and take some good engagements. And here comes green. I think green's looking to try and make a move on my side of the base, but they're going to fall back because of the fact that they got vision. EMP Mac is going to come down, but it does look like it only hits the Wraiths and not the Reavers. They tried to do a Rain of Fire, which is also a very wrong move by them because they ended up whiffing. And at least they start falling back a little bit, and our siege that we have at our base is going to go ahead and at least help support mid. And while that's happening, my army is going to continue to be getting ready for a big push on the right hand side to see if we can try and target down green's base. We do have combat salvage, so if we need to take that engagement and get our army back, we absolutely can. And here they come. Once again, it's sometimes as if green knew exactly what I was trying to do. And so now I'm going to try and pop some Y moves, target down some of the Vultures, and see if we can get rid of them. And he just popped his combat salvage. I'm going to go ahead and pop mine too. I'm going to pop in a Mac as well. We put a lot of good damage on these Vultures, which is nice. And now we just got to try and focus down on some of them. I hope the Spartan's not trying to hijack the weakened one, which it is not. But now with the Reavers that are showing up by the colony, we need to go ahead and retreat with what we've got, because this is not an engagement that we can take. So Spartan is going to start falling back as well. I did have faith to keep the Spartan alive. I got rid of the war console. Question is, oh, there was no question. The Spartan was immediately destroyed, and there goes that armory. So good thing I did not upgrade that supply pad, because unfortunately that Spartan did not live to tell the tale. But what you're seeing here is the fact that left side, we don't see their base. Obviously they have a cloaking gen set up, and it's going to be hard to hit that because Desi doesn't have any engineers. So we're still kind of restricted on this right hand side of the map. Reavers over here trying to be cute and trying to get rid of some of my Vultures, but we have plenty to go ahead and deal with that. But that's a quite amount of Reavers that are set up at the front of Light Blue's base. And they may be looking to try and go ahead and do something with this. Their hero is also on this side, and maybe they want us to waste the Y moves. So I'm only going to use 3 of them and then just go ahead and just focus down on the leader. Wow, it turns out 3 Vulture Blasts is good enough. And now Light Blue is looking to kind of push, but nope, it's not really a push. They're just trying to get rid of the siege that is set up on this side. And so they're going to look to try and do a push on this side because they're clearly focusing the Kodiaks. But we still have 2 siege turrets. And now we have that perfect amount of Vultures and Nightingales. And our shipmaster's still trying to look for opportunities to make some moves. And I pinged, hey, let's go ahead and try and see if we can get Cloak Shipmaster over there, get a tactical gateway, and see if we can hit that and then come right back out of that situation. But doesn't seem like that's going to be very easy to do. And green showing up on this right hand side, and I have vision. They're going to be aware of me, and it looks like they're going to try and hit this area, but a level 3 cleansing beam is coming down, and this is going to be pretty huge because that's going to be a lot of damage being put in. He's too busy splitting, and that's going to be my cue to come in with some Y moves, and then we're going to go ahead and retreat because we were able to do a lot of damage on some of his army, which is good to see. So a little small victory there. Locust is coming in to try and focus down on the siege turret, honestly. Kind of surprised they're not focusing on the Locust, but the fact that the hero is coming out to go for another march to try and go after the Kodiak is kind of weird. But here comes Shipmaster moving in to see if they can get that vision so they can use a tactical gateway to see if we can get it in the back of the map. But instead, I have different plans. I'm going to go ahead and use hologram to see if I can go ahead and get a push on this side and Y move light blue's base to go ahead and try and take that out. And it turns out instead, I'm going to go ahead and focus on the Reavers. And I did that in the shield gen. Rain of Fire is coming down as well. And honestly, that was just not really a good engagement. We have lost a little bit of units, a couple Vultures and a couple Nightingales. Not really the best engagement there. But here comes the Desi coming in from the left hand side, and a bunch of Reavers are coming in on my side. And now that's nothing but Reavers on that side. So Desi's going to do a little bit better on that left hand side. But unfortunately, I don't even know if they have vision to be able to engage there. Displacement helps me out, but I did lose a whole bunch of Vultures because of that. Still have the supplies to be able to support that. And there's a big push that's happening on this left hand side, trying to go after the Pavium. There's a bunch of units. Now, I want to see if I can go ahead and use the tactical gateway to go ahead and assist this push. But it does look like this Pavium, there's a Pavium sitting in there, because that base is not going down whatsoever with the slow heal as well. It's not really looking too good of a push right now on that side. So maybe with the Reavers gone and trying to shift over to that lane, maybe I'll have an opportunity to go ahead and hit light blue space on this side of the map. And this is what we're going to go ahead and try and do. So our Nightingales are going to get into provision to provide the vision. We're going to use that Y move on the Vultures to start focusing down on the base. And here comes those Reavers that I was talking about from dark blue. And Vultures are doing alright. We got a couple Y moves coming in, which is good to see, but we haven't really seen anything else that's going to provide the DPS that we need. We got the health halfway, which is very nice to see, and we don't even know where green is at with their Vultures as well, which that's pretty good because that means we still have an opportunity to try and take out this base if the Y moves can come back on time. But if green starts showing up, we have to get ready to retreat right away. We're getting so close and trying to get rid of that base. It's almost there. It's about 10 HP left, I would say. And there we go. We got our first Y move hooked up on it. And once it comes in, it's going to be taken care of. And there we go. Now we can go ahead and fall back. Still incredibly shocking that green has not shown up when I made that move. Maybe green was trying to go ahead and assist dark blue during that push, and because of that I have been able to push and eliminate a base on that side. Whatever the reason is, definitely put us in a very good situation. We got rid of the light blue base once again, but now green finally showing up. Maybe they're going to go ahead and try and push. I do have an ability to go ahead and recover my units in case I get lost, but here comes the first Reaver, and from here I was like, okay, if you're gonna go ahead and do that, I gotta pull on out of here, because that means your massive amount of Reavers are very close by. And Red is still trying to go ahead and take out the base on this side for Pavium on that left side, but it's still incredibly hard with that Pavium just chilling inside that base and fortify level 3. And Pavium's ability to be able to heal, but here we go. I popped my ability. We're going to use Ghost in the Machine to take over some of the Vultures, and then we're going to Y move the rest of the Vultures over here to take them out. And EMP Mac is going to come down, but Heavy Metal is also going to go down as well. And we're going to throw down our Mac right on Colony's army, which is going to be a lot of good damage here. And now a level 3 Cleansing Beam is going to come in as well. We're going to use a Hologram to help start our retreat And a lot of units were taken out from Colony, which was very nice to see. Can we go ahead and have our reinforcements come in from the combat salvage to take out some of the additional units that are on this side of the map? Because right now Colony is still Hunter Reavers, and Hunters aren't really needed in this situation. I'm not vehicle, but Red is still playing a little bit of vehicle, so I totally understand that. I'm going to start moving my siege forward, and the reason being is because this pop is not really being used for anything, and I want to go ahead and see if I can take out Light Blue's base once again if they're trying to get it. That's the one thing I don't want them to have. We're going to focus it down with a bunch of Y moves coming in, and then with the hologram that we have, we're going to pull right back out as soon as we take out the base. And it does look like the base was taken out, but now Y moves are going to be used on our army. And we have lost a little bit of vultures, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we still have enough to go ahead and help out. And here comes another cleansing beam from our teammate that's going to be focusing down on these vultures. And now Hunter Colony is looking to push on my side as well. So now I need to start retreating entirely, continue the vulture production. We're running a little bit, we're not even low on supplies, scratch that. But it does look like green's going to go ahead and retreat instead of actually continue pressing the issue, which in my opinion, they had the opportunity to go ahead and push my lane. With the both of them, easily could have done it. They still have devastating hosts. I'm really surprised that they did not choose to do so. But with at least what we have, we can get ready to continue to go back and forth. And now that yellow and red are shifting over here, that's going to give me the opportunity to go ahead and see if I can do any damage towards light blue over here. Hologram is going to be popped, so we can have units up front, which will be nice to see. Spartan Slam's going to come in and stun a whole bunch of units. I'm very surprised that the Spartan is actually still alive. But Y moves are going to start coming down across Colony's army, and a big engagement between the Banshees and the and the Vultures. And with Shipmaster here, this is going to at least kind of help, but this is where his Hunter Reavers are actually pretty darn good. Great Hunter brand by them. But we do have siege turrets as support. Our Spartan is kind of getting low on health. We're going to see if we can do a Y move to go ahead and do another stun if possible once it is ready. But right now we've taken a lot of damage. We're losing a lot of vultures too. That's something you really want to see. And here comes green coming in as well. We're going to have to kind of fall back to our base if they continue to push the issue, but it turns out they're not. And we do have just enough units to go ahead and scare them. But now here comes dark blue pushing with some Reavers and a little bit of raids, but honestly that's not enough to go ahead and take out Dusty's base. That's a lot of anti-air, but definitely not a lot of base damage. So red's going to start assisting with the scarab that they have there on the map, and I'm still stuck in a little weird situation. But tried to use the Mac, but the Reavers come in with an excellent Y move, but we were able to get rid of some of them. But vultures have shown up, and it's going to be a little bit of a problem for the scarab, and needs to start retreating in case it has not popped its shields. It definitely should. If not, it's going to be taken care of, and there we go. We have lost it there. But now I'm going to come in and help reinforce with my vultures. We have heavy metal. Red's coming in as well. And we're going to pop the heavy metal in advance. And it does look like green's going to go ahead and retreat instead of trying to push that issue. They're kind of a little bit scared by the Reavers that are coming in from Shipmaster. And a huge cleansing beam's coming down. A rain of fire is coming down on the expansion base. His base is getting incredibly low again. Will it be able to hold? The Nightingales are there to start providing the heals, and it looks like the base is just barely going to go ahead and survive. We're gonna pop hologram because now we're gonna go ahead and try and push, but they tried to use the orbital with the Mac, and it was such a waste because unfortunately it was not able to take out the base. And so now I'm pinging, hey, I want to go ahead and start working on bases here. Let's see if we can do something about this. And we're gonna go ahead and actually push this left hand side over here with Pavium's Big Daddy base. And my camera got a little bit weird there, but if we can at least deny this second base, because this base was apparently taken out. I don't remember when it was taken out. It must have been during my engagement on the right hand side. And that means we're sticking Pavium to just one base, and that base has some mega turrets, and we were able to get rid of a lot of Dark Blue's army from that big push. So it If we can keep this push going, this actually may come out in our favor. A great hunter brand, but a lot of the units were actually fake, but we are still losing a little bit as a whole. But we popped combat salvage. We're going to start with this push, and we're going to try and get rid of the enemy over here. Pavium is outside his base, which is nice to see, so we can go ahead and focus down on the Pavium. Hunter Colony is distracting my army though, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm surprised I'm not using all the Y moves for the Vultures. And additional reinforcements is coming in, and another cleansing is going to be coming down. It's going to be from our team. But Pavium's still doing pretty strong. I lost my Spartan. We're going to start trying to do the Y move on there, but the Y move should be going on Pavium, not on the base right now, because that's what's healing the base. But we were able to at least take out the Pavium there. But our army is starting to fall low, and green is coming back after that displacement. But we do have Ghost in the Machine we're going to try and do, and we just took over 5 vultures there, which is nice to see. But we don't really have any units to go ahead and take care of anything, so I think these vultures are going to come back just fine to haunt us if we keep them in our army. So we're going to start falling back, but it's a little bit unfortunate that those vultures are going to be able to get back alive and not really do much damage there as a whole. So light blue is going to recover their second base. We don't know the status of dark blue with their second base, but we are making some headway here. We're making a little bit of pushes, and the tide is starting to turn in our favor. We're having a good cycle of leader abilities, and we need this Nightingale to go ahead and heal his base because it is still red. So hopefully that Nightingale can just sit there and just heal that base up because it needs it really badly. And we're going to go ahead and look to see if we can push light blue's base. We got it down before, but we need to go for another big attack in order to see if we can take out that base. So we have dark blue kind of on one base and light blue kind of on one base as well. And here comes the push. We popped our hologram. There are some shield gens. It does look like green is shifting over, but with what we have and the amount of vultures we're doing with the Y move, hopefully we'll be able to take it out. There's a couple more Y moves that need to be used, but a perfect rain of fire that is coming in by the enemy, and heavy metal was popped, so we still have our vultures still alive. But we were able to take out the base. I don't even know how we were able to take it. I guess the Y move from the vulture ended up happening, which was nice to see. And the fact that green ended up retreating was unfortunate on their part as well. So there goes green. And it turns out green was actually trying to go after my base. Luckily, we are actually pretty prepared for this. Cleansing beam's going to come down. Green's going to start moving away. And this move happened because of the fact that we saw green shifting away from light blue's base and just let that base get sacked. So I'm guessing green was trying to find an opportunity to go ahead and flank around in order to go ahead and take out my main base, but not today. The positioning was well and we executed fine. Matt comes in to help stall, and now we got to see if we can go ahead and take out Mr. Vultures himself. He started this war. I need to go ahead and end this war, and it's not me ending it. It's my amazing teammate right here sacrificing all his Desi air in order to get rid of as many vultures as possible. And this is going to be my cue to go ahead and bring my vultures in to try and take out some units, but we need to fall back. We kind of overcommitted with that attack. There's a scarab getting pushed on the left hand side by our teammate, so we can find opportunity there. We don't need to try and force something that just isn't going to work out. And so the scarab's going to keep posturing. That base is almost taken care of, but it's still alive just barely. But if we can get that scarab in position, maybe we can also put dark blue back on one base, but there are a lot of reavers there, so it's not like I can go ahead and push that. We're finally going to get our Spartan back into play. And now the question is, will this push be able to work on this left hand side with the scarab? We have 2 scarabs on the map right now, one on the left hand side that's going to try and push dark blue, has some reavers for that vision in case that base gets cloaked, and I need to see if I can go ahead and keep light blue in one base. We're going to self-destruct our base and put sensor towers, which was a pretty interesting choice. But light blue is going to be chilling right in front of the base with some Reavers, and so we're going to have a two-prong attack here. We're going to have red come in with the Scarab, which is going to do a great job against those Reavers, and then he's going to go ahead and try and push light blue's base on the right hand side. But Hunter Colony is going to use his Y move, which is going to be a little bit unfortunate, but I'm going to come in with a bunch of Vulture Y moves myself to start putting and reducing this army size just a little bit to the best of our ability. This Scarab is going to be taken care of, but we were at least able to get rid of a lot of light blue's army. We're going to fall back for now. We have good siege turrets, and the Scarab is actually doing a good job on that side, applying a lot of pressure. So green is still kind of on one base, and I mean light blue doesn't really have a crazy army either. We've been doing a magnificent job just being as efficient as we can, and the Scarab is still alive on this left hand side, and they're focusing down on that base, which means green's going to go ahead and help them. I'm going to pop combat salvage because I know green is heading over, and this is my opportunity to go ahead and push, and that's exactly what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to try and focus down with some Y moves to take out his base, and we got plenty of Y moves honestly in order to do so, and we're going to send the rest of our Vultures to try and get rid of as much of Hunter Colony's army as possible, because if any Vultures go down, that's fine. It's going to go ahead and come back because of the combat salvage. And now we were able to take out two bases. It's dark blue's second base, which used to be their main, and light blue's expansion base. So now I still have this combat salvage popped. I want to see if I can do something with this if possible, but right now there's not really anything that's showing that I can go ahead and make some moves. I did ping, hey, let's go ahead and go right up the gut, right up the middle, to see if we can take out light blue. We have the opportunity to do so. Light blue lost this whole army, and now they're on one base, and here comes the Vulture War on this side. Mac comes down, which is going to be a little bit of a problem, but I have my own Mac, but a displacement came in, and unfortunately my Mac just misses entirely because of that. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Ghost in the Machine is ready to go though, so if something does show up, we'll be able to deal with it. And now this Reaver production is going to be a little bit much for us to handle, but we can't really retreat, so we're just going to go ahead and take this fight, and whatever we lose, we lose. But we do have some Y moves coming on the Reavers, which is going to help reduce them just a little bit, but unfortunately we have lost a lot of our army, and we need to go ahead and rebuild that. But we continue to put the pendulum towards our side in this game. Red's grabbing dark blue's main base and make sure they don't grab that. Two Scarabs are going to go ahead and go into that position with Desi as well, and I'm going to continue to make my army to get ready for my push on my right hand side. So if we execute this well, we're going to be able to capitalize this and hopefully end this long game. But green's coming in with a lot of units. Ghost in the Machine is going to be used, and it's going to happen right when a cleansing beam was happening, but we can at least start using the Y moves on everything in order to go ahead and waste them, and we can use some on the base as well, which is nice to see. And we have more being used, and we're going to try and send their Vultures on their own so then they can go ahead and be lost. But that base looks like it's going to be incredibly hard to beat, and we already lost one Scarab on that side, so it's going to be my cue to come in. Let's go ahead and get rid of this expansion base that dark blue is trying to go for, and by doing so we still keep them down on one base, but we're still kind of stuck in this weird situation where we don't really have any end game at the moment. Shout out to that Reaver getting rid of one of my Vultures. Unfortunately, the overcommitment happened, trying to get rid of that expansion base by dark blue, which is now their main base. And now we're going to go back to the drawing board, right? We know green still has a massive amount of Vultures. My army's looking incredibly healthy. Desi Air could be better, but it's still working on it. We're going to continue to make more supply pads. And now look at this. Green decided to make some Hornets, and I don't really know if I agree with that decision. We're going to pop some Y moves on those Hornets, and because of that, we're going to probably get rid of at least one or two Hornets, 3 Hornets at least. But unfortunately, Red's base is going to get taken care of. But we're going to use a hologram, and we're going to push with myself and Decimus. We saw that there's Hornets, and that's a weird army comp. There definitely should be Vultures instead. So I think this is a fight that we can honestly take. It's a numbers game, and we just have to be able to take it. Heavy metal is popped. We do have heals if we need to use it, but Y move's doing a great job getting rid of some of those hornets and weakening the vultures as well. And we can just keep this push going. Even though they're trying to get these hornets up, this is what I was talking about. This transition wasn't really a good one right now. And Desi Air can fight that easily. And I'm going to start focusing down on Green's base because honestly, Desi can go ahead and keep them in check. And if I focus down on the base and get rid of it, this is going to be better for us. A Mac is going to come in, but we do have a restoration drone on some of the Banshees, which is nice to see. And we have a Mac if we need to use it. We got to get our other vultures a lot closer so they all can go ahead and shoot on Green's base. But if we get rid of this base, then we essentially got them all down to one base, and we have that transition to Hornets and Nightingales with not a good call. When you're in Vulture Wars, you have to stay in Vulture War. Great Hunter brand, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Rain of Fire, that one was actually pretty good by them as well. But now we have our army all together, and Green is now the weakest link. Green relied on that mass air with the vultures. Maybe they were hurting with supply. I don't know what that situation was, but we're going to look to go ahead and try and close this, but we don't know what type of army Dark Blue will come in for reinforcements. But if my whole Vulture army can come in, we can go ahead and just focus down on the base. But they do have Hunter Colony there to go ahead and help out, but they're swallowing a huge cleansing beam. Teleport comes in, and honestly, there's not much units left from that teleport. Combat salvage is going to be called, so we can go ahead and sack our vultures if we need to. But now we can go ahead and focus down on the base by Green. And it's taking a lot of hit from the vultures. It needs one more blast if possible, and there it goes. Green has now been eliminated. So now all we need is to just take out the remainder of the people here. If they decide to stay in the game, Pavium showed up a little bit too late in order to go ahead and heal up Green's old base that existed. And so it does look like this game is going to be coming into a close soon. Vortex Lightning, very nice to get rid of that Pavium, a little bit overkill. But I just want to say, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for making it this far into the video and watching part 2. If you enjoyed this and want more of this, feel free to hit that like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments. You know, I've been getting some good critiques on what I can do better in my gameplay and whatnot as a whole. So, hey, I'm all for it. I'm trying to get better. And most importantly, if I get enough likes, I'm going to just start showing myself. I want to go ahead and be that full commentary presence for you all on the game and off the game. Don't know what I mean by off the game, but that sounded nice, so it came out with it. And now we're going to enjoy one last big push on the Pavium base. We have our huge Vulture army with hologram. Heavy metal is being popped. Why? I don't know, but it is. And we're going to go ahead and get all our vultures, and we're going to use all the Y moves on that Pavium base. And we didn't even get to do so because ended up disconnecting from the game. So, once again, thank you so much for watching. We're going to get to the stat screen relatively soon. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, a subscribe, and a comment. I want to try and do 5 videos Monday through Friday, but we're going to keep it 3 for now, and I'll casually continue to just improve the process and get more and more. I want to do longer games and high quality games, and if they're shorter games, hey, maybe I'll compile a bunch of shorter games together and talk about those. These are my ideas. I'm just rambling at this point. If you're listening, that is awesome. I appreciate it. If not, hey, now you get to see the stats and you don't have to listen to the rambling anymore. So looking at the stats, I went 266 for 267. The efficiency game, we did not win the efficiency game. Look at the amount of units lost for the Desi Banshees, and Green was incredibly efficient. So I don't know what happened with that transition, but it is what it is. But this was a big, epic 61-minute battle. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your afternoon, your month, your week. I don't care what it is. Enjoy it. Keep being awesome. And I will catch you in the next commentary video.